because of your achievement in swimming, you caught attention of some people in USA, right? And you got a text message on WhatsApp, I believe. Tell me about that experience.
Yes, it was very strange. I think my first couple messages were actually on Instagram, and I was junior in high school. And I didn't really trust it. I was like, yeah, like, I mean, from small country, I mean, yes, I am national champion, but I cannot
Yeah,
compare myself to country like United States.
yeah,
And at first, I was like, I know I have to stop swimming because I want to be a doctor. At that point, I was like, yes, like in Slovakia, after high school, you go straight into medical school if you pass your
mhm,
exams. And medical school is there for 6 years.
mhm.
But I was like, even if like someone's interested in me and wants me to come to the States, like there is no way I can pay tuition. Like it's like 50 plus thousand
Yeah,
dollars every
yeah.
year. I usually said like no, thank you. And actually one person, I'm not even sure from what school it was,
So is it a
and
person
they're
or
very
from a
persistent,
university
and they're
account?
like, I think on Instagram it was first like a person who works for the university. It wasn't like a swim team.
I see.
And I had Zoom with them, and they kind of explain a little bit more like what like swimming in the States is, like what college swimming is, and like what the D1, D2, and D3 levels are. Because I
Hmm.
even had no idea what it is. Like I was
Yeah.
not looking for swimming in States. I knew it
Hmm.
has to end my senior year of high school, and that's it.
Yeah.
But then my senior year, I got a text message from University of Delaware,
Hmm.
and I met with the coach. And at that point, I was like, okay, like this is real. I guess people are interested in me. And I just like fell in love with the coach, with the program, and with the
Hmm.
school as well. And I think at that point, like I had a couple more offers, but I was like, no, I think I'm picking Delaware. Like my one big condition was that I have to be a full ride scholarship,
Yeah.
either like as a student athlete. So
Hmm.
I knew like I could pick only from the schools that were
Hmm.
giving me that opportunity.
That's amazing, though. That you got to and study in US with full scholarship, and it's all the hard work is paid off, right? I have a question. Why do why do universities do that? Why do they contact athletes from another country to come and swim for either swimming or any other sport?
Yeah, I think definitely there must be some prestige, and also they love bringing diversity, and they want to see how people in the rest of the
Mhm,
world train. But what I would
mhm,
say specifically about Delaware Swim and Dive program,
mhm,
they are heavy on internationals. Our head coach was
mhm,
himself international as well once, and it just makes the team very different and unique, and
mhm.
everyone brings in their perspective, and
Yeah.
and you basically build a completely new culture, and it feels amazing. Like I
Mhm,
am a completely different person just
mhm.
because I came here and was part of a sports team, not only just like
Yeah.
swimming, but like being
Mhm,
part of the Delaware athletics. It is something amazing, and I don't think I can even like explain how life changing that was.
Is it because of course the coach is amazing, right? And also, and your team who are international, as you said, so you can learn like how does the people in let's suppose Japan or other countries, what are their techniques, what are their belief in the training and stuff, and you pick the best out of it, and does it it helps you, right? Is that the reason that you feel like you learn a lot?
Yes, definitely. That's the reason. Like I know people from all around Europe. Yes, we have girls also from China.
Hmm.
Then from different parts of states, even South America. It's really amazing. And
Hmm.
I also like am trying to learn different other languages. I mean, I know a little bit from like maybe German and Spanish, but
Yeah.
it would be really nice one day just to go visit and practice the language and
Yeah.
seeing their culture as well.
Yeah, it's that's the I think most amazing part of international student journey, because you grow up in your country, you had in a kind of your like coming of age in your country, you learn, you kind of you feel like I know a lot, and then you go abroad and see students from all around the world and learn about their culture, and there is some drastic cultural difference, right? Asian culture is different from the European culture, and then you learn some of the things from them, and you again they learn from you. American culture is different, African culture is different, and when you become friends, you kind of you level up your personality, you become a different different person, right? Which is a really good thing.
Yes, and also like you help each other because no
Yeah,
one really knows what's going on, to be honest. Like all the freshmen just come here. Even if you are
yeah,
from States, they're like, "Oh wow, we have this and that." And like, "Oh, we didn't know you were supposed to dress up like this or you were supposed to like be 10 minutes early to this thing." So yeah,
yeah.
it's just really funny and everyone is pretty much on the same level at that point and you're just trying to figure it out together and piece it all together.
Any fun memory from those experience that you can recall and laugh about?
I mean, definitely. I think first when I came here,
Hmm.
I mean, I knew English. I went to bilingual high school, so I was like, okay,
Yeah,
like I can pick up what's going on. I mean, it's different to be
yeah,
like talking to Slovakian people who speak English than to like
yeah.
Native American people, but like, and there was like a lot of slang going on in group chats, and honestly, like I
Hmm.
was so like tired of asking what those things mean that I would just like Google things and be like, okay, this is the slang, so this is what it means, or
Yeah,
they're like, oh, we have like scavengers hunt. I remember this, and I was like, what is scavengers hunt? Like, what are we doing? Like, is it part
yeah,
of like team thing or is it like school required? Like, I know I was so confused, and it ended up being fun, and like now I know what it is. So
yeah.
I think things like that were very funny.
There's always some kind of funny miscommunication happens with those kind of things. I remember I wrote a text message to my friend and he just wrote one word. It says word. Just say word. And I in my head I was like, what word is he talking about? Did I offend him? What is the word that's the problem here? Because for me it's like he said like, oh, one of the word is problematic, and then I was like, hey, what word is the problem? Sorry if I said something offensive. He's like, no, word means I got it. Like, okay, sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I had one another incident when I was just sitting at the bus stop and the old lady came and she was like, can you give me time? And for me, giving me time is like, oh, you want to talk to me? So yeah, I have time. We can talk. And she got a little mad after I asked. I was like, no, I can't give you time. I have my bus to catch, you know. And she's like, no, what time is it? Like, oh, sorry, then tell me what time is it. Why do you say, can you give me time? So those kind of things happen a lot at the beginning. Yeah.
Yes.
And again, we grew up with the British English too. People don't know, even you didn't know at that time what is D3, D2, and D1 athlete. Could you just explain it to for the audience who doesn't know what is that mean?
Yes. So, from my understanding as of now, like D1 is the most competitive division where the focus is on athletics and academics kind of comes as second, and then D2 is
Yeah.
like mix of both, and D3 is usually institutions who are heavily academic, and then the sport is just as part of it.
Hmm.
But to be honest, a lot of the schools they like pay really big attention on academics as well. So especially for University of Delaware, we always had to perform both in the pool and
Yeah.
in classroom in order to be successful.
Mm.
It's more about like the way I would say United States categorizes their schools and how much
Mm.
support those athletes get.
Mm. And what age did you come to US?
I was, I believe, 18 or 19, or
Oh.
I was 18 and then I turned 19, I think.
Mm.
Because also school system in Slovakia is a little bit different.
Hmm.
So I was coming already older as people from
Hmm.
the States. We have 9 grades plus
Hmm.
4 years of high school,
Hmm.
or 8 plus 5, depending if you go to a
Hmm.
bilingual school, it's 5 years of high school.
Mm.
So there was already one more extra year of schooling before you go to college.
And why do people go to bilingual school? Because they eventually want to move to abroad, or is there like a lot of reliance on English? It helps you get a job and career going in Slovakia if you know English.
Yes, I think definitely the first thing was people wanted to learn more English, and it's gonna help you career wise if you wanna like even work somewhere in Europe. Like you
Hmm.
kind of need to speak English. All
Hmm.
European languages are pretty different.
Yeah.
So definitely that, and then it. I mean, for me, it gave me opportunity to come to States and study further in the United States. Like I already
Yeah.
had pretty good base in English,
Yeah.
and I could hop in and within probably 4 or 5 weeks, I was confident in studying in English. So that really prepared me.
What was the hardest part of leaving your home and the country and parents and stuff at 18 or 19-year old? It's still a young age, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I think definitely the hardest part was like, yes, you are gonna be alone and you have to do everything by yourself.
Hmm.
And even though being a student athlete, it comes with a lot of support, you are going to be an adult at that point, and like you have to manage your time. Like you have to do groceries by yourself, you have to do laundry, and just like
Yeah.
basic things you never realize that your parents do for you and make your life
Yeah.
easier. And of course, like not knowing everyone, so
Yeah.
definitely that support from the beginning. Like, yes, I had a lot of people talking to me, like a lot of advisors, coaches, but
Yeah.
I was not feeling confident of be like, hey, can you help me, like I don't know, like I don't have a car, can you give me a ride to do groceries, like
Hmm.
just like things like that.
Yeah. How was the first week or first month in Delaware? Did you feel homesick, loneliness, or any kind of cultural shock?
I don't think I felt homesick at any point that much. I kind of wanted to leave because I felt like my parents are giving me everything I need way too much. Like I remember like I wanted to like have a
Mm.
part-time job over the summer. They're like, no, like you should rest and like focus only on swimming. Like swimming season is basically whole year round. And I
Mhm.
felt like they do everything for me and it was like too much and I really wanted to be independent. So I think
Nice.
yes, it was very hard, and I at one point I was like, oh gosh, I really regret that because like it was very convenient for me to live at home and have everything pretty much for free.
Yeah.
And when I came here, I was like, oh yeah, like this is real life. Like you have to take care of yourself.
Hmm.
But yeah, like first week definitely like learning where everything is, like who is going to give me ride to practice. For example, the campus is really big and we practice
Yeah.
on two different parts of the campus,
Hmm.
but everyone was very welcoming. I was very surprised. They wanted to learn more about me and where I'm from. So
Hmm.
it was a lot. I remember some people were like, but you don't talk. And I'm like, guys, I'm not really fluent in English. Like, I understand what you are saying, but it takes my
Yeah.
mind to translate it from English to Slovak, then from Slovak to English and what I want to say. And by the time we are on different topic, like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah.
So I think making friends was a little bit
Hmm.
harder at the beginning, but
Yeah.
I was put into like the student athlete mode. So I had
Mm.
already 50 friends basically. I had 50 other
Yeah.
people around me who will help me at least figure out how to get to practice.
Yeah. That's the best part to be in a team, right? You don't have to try
Yes.
too hard to make a friends because you are working together. Eventually, you will end up becoming friends. And was it easy for your parents to let you go? How did they feel about sending you to another country at a young age?
That was actually very hard for my parents,
Hmm.
especially like being a first generation college student.
Yeah.
They never even imagined I would decide to go abroad. They were
Yeah.
like, yeah, you gotta stay home, like finish the degree at home, like the
Yeah.
school at home is for free, like they will help me with like room and
Mm.
board, but
Yeah.
there is no tuition at home.
Mm.
And seeing me like leaving, they're very scared, like I am not gonna finish the degree, it's gonna be very hard, and they
Yeah.
themselves don't speak English, like I had to
Hmm.
do everything myself, even figuring out visa and everything.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna figure it out, and they were very stressed. And I remember at one point they were like, no, you are not doing it, like no. And then I was like, but I got full ride, like you gotta let me go. And even like I was already 18, like parents
Hmm.
have to sign a contract as well, because you are
Hmm.
becoming an athlete. And my
Yeah.
dad was like, no, I don't think I want to sign that, like I don't want you to leave. And I was
Yeah.
like, dad, we have by the end of this day, please
Yeah.
sign it. But he did, like obviously they're very
Yeah.
proud and everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just very scary, I think, for them, big change, and they are
Yeah.
still very scared. Like even now, like going to medical
No.
school, like they were hoping I'm gonna come home, and I was like, guys, no, I like living abroad and making friends.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Those are the things you understand when you have your own child. I have a daughter
Yeah,
who's,
they told me that.
yeah, and I know now. My parents used to tell me, and now I know she's my daughter is just 10 months old, and I can't imagine sending
Oh,
her. I'm in LA. I don't even want her to go to San Francisco. Stay in LA. But of
oh.
course, she will have her journey and she will go. But yeah, it's hard. It's not easy. What was the cultural shock? Biggest cultural shock when you land in US? That's like, oh, this is completely different from Slovakia, or I never seen this kind of thing before in my country. Because there are not as
I
many
think like
cultural shock because of the movies and shows, but when you come here you realize like, oh, there is still a lot.
yes, actually, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was like, oh, I'm ready. Like I've seen it like in the shows and movies, but it is different. Let me tell you, like the grocery shopping, everything is huge. Even
Yeah,
moving to the dorm, when I saw those people pulling up in those pickup trucks and everything with so much furniture, everyone had a TV in the dorm, and I was
yeah.
like, wow, I have 2 suitcases. So
Yeah,
yeah, everything is definitely bigger. They go like
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely a lot. And I think one other shock was I thought it was like, oh, like everyone is gonna be kind of like say. I mean, I knew there is a big diversity, but I was like, I think I thought their mindset is gonna be pretty similar, but people from each state are different. They have different
Hmm.
beliefs and
Yeah.
like different attitudes. So that was very interesting to learn as well that people here are very different.
You think like, oh, I'm from a small country, and will I be good enough swimmer in the US where there is different kind of athletes from all around the world? How was that experience, and how did you overcome that?
Yeah, I think even especially coming from Europe where we swim on pools that are in meters, like here it's yards pool and like the college season is on 25 yard pool. I
Hmm.
like never swam pools like that and I was like, I don't really know like where am I gonna fall in because am I gonna be
Hmm.
one of the slower swimmers like
Hmm.
somewhere in the middle or one of the faster ones. I mean there are like converters like you can convert your times like and you see like probably what would you go in yards but I really didn't know and at first I was just like yeah I just like gotta keep my hard work and the discipline I have and like hopefully it's gonna work out like I never really
Yeah.
had a problem with like even type of practices like I practice in
Yeah.
my club then with national team and
Hmm.
I think one thing that I knew was like if I put in the hard work, like it should work out. Thankfully, euro and dollar are kind of similar, so I was like, yeah, euro and dollar, like I
Yeah.
got used to it.
Yeah.
But the yards, I'm not gonna try to convert that. Like it is yards, it is yards.
Yeah. How is it different from a Slovakian championship swimming practice versus the D1 athlete swimming practice in US?
So definitely swim meets are different. I think like college swimming in general is very different from the rest of the world, how they swim and how they train.
Yeah.
You have these dual meets or even like 3 or 4 schools, so then you call it quad meet. But
Hmm.
during the season, you race only a couple teams, and then at the end of the season, there is a big championship meet,
Hmm.
and you race in a practice suit all the way until the championship, and then you like suit up. It's like the special, like the long swimsuit that goes from like your shoulders all the way to your knees.
Yeah.
So it was something very different. In Slovakia, you can suit up for any meet you can, or like
Hmm.
whatever you want. You want to do like suit it up every weekend, like that's fine.
Hmm.
And in Slovakia, you just like sign up with your club and you go and you meet like different clubs there. It wasn't really team effort, I would say, until you were like competing with national team. Like in college, you are one team, and
Yeah.
it shows you how swimming can be a team sport as well. And you have the
Hmm.
swimming and diving there. Like in
Hmm.
Delaware, we had both swim and dive. We are one team, swimming and diving. So
Hmm.
we score separately, but the scores are always combined together. And based on the final score, you see if you
Hmm.
beat the other team or not.
You talked about you had a shoulder injury, right? And you kind of kept going. Uh, Tell me about that. How did that happen? And love to know the athlete's mentality, because any sports athletes do get injured, and they keep going. They try to achieve their goal. They don't just like, oh, I'm injured, so they quit. I would love to know about that mentality and how did that injury happen.
Yes, so I mean my shoulder actually started hurting beginning of my sophomore year. And I like honestly didn't think much of it. I was like, yeah, like I've been sore before, but I was like, this is something different. It keeps hurting.
Hmm.
And I mean, at first, like I just worked with my athletic trainer. So our team, we had athletic trainer, and
Hmm.
at some point it got a little bit better, but then again it got a little bit worse, and I just like didn't really know what's going on, but I just kept pushing. Like
Hmm.
my coaches, like we had the support here, so I did physical therapy. I worked with my athletic trainer. We have nutrition,
Hmm.
sports psychology. Like I had all the resources and I was trying to use them, and I didn't even know like
Hmm.
why or like how it happened, but
Hmm.
it's basically the injury I had. It's from like swimming too much, so it's like I overused my shoulder.
Hmm.
So that's just like the only reason pretty much why it happened. Like I was trying to like figure out like, oh, is it like the way I eat or like do I need more recovery?
Yeah.
And like it could have happened anywhere else. Like it wasn't just because I came here and the practice is a
Yeah.
little bit different. It's just my body said like it's enough and like you need longer break. And I
Yeah.
did have like longer break after the season, but then it always came back. And after
Hmm.
that I was just like, yeah, like I'm gonna ignore it. Like in my mind I was like, okay, like I really want to swim and I love swimming and I love this team.
Hmm.
And I kept ignoring it all the way until, I mean, in my head, like I still worked on my shoulder and like with
Yeah.
PT and athletic trainer, but mentally I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna ignore it. But it came to the point that it started like subluxing. So that's like type of dislocation where it's not completely dislocated, but it's like shifted like good amount that like you
Hmm.
have problem like even like raising your arm overhead. So
Oh wow.
that's when
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I cannot move. So I
Hmm.
think I need to like think about like my life long term. And my coaches
Yeah.
were very like strict about it. They're like, yes, like you need to think about your health first. Like it's not about like you scoring points for the team. Like you
Yeah.
need to think about your health.
Yeah. No, that's the important thing, right? Because there is a life after, a sporting career as well, and you did think about it, and you decided to become doctor. Was it just as easy as that, or were you thought of doing something else, or like, okay, now I'm gonna find another hard thing to do, which is to be doctor?
Now you're sounding like, I would say when my parents and my coach, they're like, yeah, one hard thing, and then you decide to do another hard thing. And then when I
Yeah.
told them what specialty I'm interested in, they're like, when are you gonna stop?
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I think I'm very ambitious person, and I like
Hmm.
working hard and just like doing things just because I like them. And I honestly am a little bit too stubborn. Like people tell me, oh, like take a break, like don't do it. And I'm like, no,
Hmm.
but I really want to, and I'm gonna try. And like if I fail, like I'm gonna try again.
Hmm.
So I think it just like came natural. Like I knew I wanted to be doctor since high school pretty much. Like I was like, yes, I'm set for this. So coming to States was just about figuring out if I'm
Hmm.
able to do it here or if I have to come back home and do it home.
Hmm.
But I really like the mentality here, and like I got involved in research, like saw a lot of
Hmm.
things for shadowing, volunteering, and
Hmm.
I think this is the environment I want to work in, and I would love to just like stay a little bit longer if I'm able to. So
Hmm.
that's why I was like, yes,
Yeah.
I would love to be a doctor. And even with
Hmm.
my injury, I kind of realized like, yes, like I want to help people in the way I was helped. Like I had amazing
Hmm.
physicians,
Yeah.
both like athletic trainers and everything. At one point, I was like, I can pretty much do different things in healthcare if I don't get into medical school. Like I can
Hmm.
see doing myself that.
Hmm.
But then, because of like one of my physicians, like he really explained like what's going on in my shoulder and like why it is bothering me and like why I have to pretty much stop swimming if I want to feel better like long
Yeah.
term, that I
Yeah.
was like, yes, I think I want to be this kind of doctor who really takes time,
Hmm.
explains to their patients everything, and then you see things more clearly.
Do you want to give shout out to the doctor? So, you know, like, oh, this is the dog. Because I remember, like, in one of the teacher who changed my life, and I would love to give shout out to him. If that doctor created such a good impression on you, if you can, if you want to, you can say his name or her name.
Oh yes, I mean it's Dr. Reisman from University of Delaware. He works in sports medicine clinic, so he's
Yeah,
head of the sports medicine clinic. He
yeah,
took care of me all 4 years, and I
yeah,
am very grateful for the relationship we had, and like for
yeah.
every kind word or every support he gave me. So yes.
That's amazing. And these are the people who kind of build the next generation, right? So, I have seen students who achieve a lot. You have in Slovakia in becoming the one athlete and getting all the scholarships, but sometimes they feel like uh, they are just doing one thing after another whole day, one thing after another, and they feel like they are just living in a survival mode. They don't get time to just take a break and breathe or relax, or did you experience that kind of a thing, or you were just enjoying that journey, that life that you have?
I mean, definitely I experienced that. I think especially in my junior year, with like trying to get into medical school and like doing MCAT, still managing my injury and trying to swim throughout
Mhm.
that. And
That's a
at
lot.
one point, like yes, I was like, I am sleeping 5 hours a day and like I don't feel best. Like I love
Yeah.
doing what I'm doing. It's just a little bit too much, and at that point I had to like prioritize like yes, my health, and then what is next, like
Hmm.
what is like the first goal I need to focus on, and going from there.
And you figured it out by yourself, or you had, as you said, the sports psychologists as well. They were there to kind of guide you and help you.
I mean, yes, the school has amazing resources. So it was my coaches, especially my athletic trainers as well. I was in the athletic training room at some point 7 days a week. So they were
Wow.
doing a lot of talking, and we were figuring out together. And then, yes, the sports psychology, sports
Hmm.
nutrition, like everyone who saw me and wanted to help. And like I shared with them that what are my goals, and like they made like everything. They said everything is possible, and they helped me in every way they could.
That's really nice, and it's good to have sports psychologists as well, because they kind of helps you get clarity, right?
I mean, yeah, like it's like really nice, especially for like the sports side, like where you have the injury and like
Hmm.
you are feeling like you can't do the whole practice because your athletic trainer said like today you can do only half of the practice and the rest of it has to be your rehab, and
Hmm.
like you have to do it on land, like you cannot be in the pool because that's what's hurting your shoulder.
Yeah.
um yeah, like with even with the team, like we had like a lot of like goal settings and like we
Hmm.
do like a lot of different like exercises with sports psychology as a team, so that was very helpful as well.
That's good to know. Okay, now we're gonna go to part two, which is about the process, right? Getting into medical school.